Hi, I am Sanjay Patel. This is our third lecture on examples of rings, and in this lecture I am going to just list some few more rings and discuss some important facts or conditions about these rings. So let us start with the first one. Let R is equal to this set denoted by the symbol Z into square bracket I, where I is that imaginary number. This is defined as set of all complex numbers of the form a plus ib, where a and b belongs to Z, means a and b are integers only. Okay. Then this set is a ring with respect to the addition and multiplication of complex numbers. So I am just leaving it to you to verify, which is very simple, and prove that the set Zi, comma plus, comma dot is a commutative ring with unity and here plus is the addition of complex numbers and dot is the multiplication of complex numbers. Dot is the multiplication of complex numbers. So with respect to these operations, the set Zi becomes a ring. Further, we are also interested in finding the units of this ring. Find units of the ring Zi. Okay, this is also a very important question. Remember, this ring, which contains elements of the type a plus ib, where a and b are integers, is known as Gaussian ring. The ring Zi is called the Gaussian ring. Is known as Gaussian ring. And the elements in this Zi are called Gaussian integers, and elements of Zi are known as Gaussian integers. Okay, so by now you must have understood what is this ring about. Remember, elements of the type say 2 plus 3i or 0 plus 0i or minus 1 plus 7i, this belongs to Zi. Okay, here a and b both are integers, but elements of this type 2 by 3 plus I or say root 2 plus 3i, this does not belong to Zi. So here both the real parts and imaginary parts must be integer. This a and b both must be integer. Then only the element or the complex number a plus ib is a member of the set Zi. So I leave it to you to verify all the 8 conditions of the Gaussian of the ring. What I want to mention here is some important facts. In Zi, in the ring Zi, remember that the zero element is 0 plus 0i. This is the 0 element. Just we are writing some main things about this ring. This is called 0 element of the ring. Then for any element, say if I take Z is equal to a plus ib belongs to zi, then its negative is minus a plus I times minus b. Okay. Another thing we want to mention here is what is the unity element. The unity element is 1 plus 0. I remember 1 plus 0 here, 1 and 0 both are integers. So this belongs to Zi is the unity element of this ring. And since multiplication of complex numbers is commutative and this Zi is a subset of set of complex numbers. So therefore I can say Z into W is same as W into Z. For every Z and W belongs to Zi. So this Zi is a commutative ring that you can also check independently. And the fifth thing is that what are the units of this ring? What are the unit elements of this ring? Say an element. So this is something very important. So I am writing as a separate say thing. So units of the ring Zi. Okay, units of the ring Zi. If an element Z is equal to say a plus ib, okay, a plus ib is a unit element, is unit in Zi, then by definition there exists another element W which is equal to c plus id say in Zi such that the product of Z and W must be is equal to the unity element. You know what is the definition of unit in a ring? Unit is nothing but multiplicative inverse. So Z into W must be 1. Okay, remember Z and W all are complex numbers here. So this implies mod of Z into W is also equal to say mod of 1. And this I can add as mod of Z into mod of W is equal to 1. 1 is a complex number and its absolute value is 1. What is mod Z? Let me square both the sides. So squaring both the sides, mod Z square into mod W square is equal to 1. And the complex number Z is equal to a plus ib absolute value is given by square root of a square plus b square. But since I have written square here, I can write directly this is equal to a square plus b square into c square plus d square is equal to 1. And note that here a, b, c, d all are integers, where all the numbers a, b, c, d, these numbers are in Z. Okay. So since a, b, c, d are integers, a, b, c, d are integers, we must have say these integers equals to say both equals to 1. Okay, we must have a square plus b square is equal to 1 and c square plus d square is equal to 1. Okay, both cannot be minus 1 because this is a positive number. So we know product of two integers is 1. Okay, if and only if both the integers are either 1 or both the integers are minus 1. Okay, there is no other option. So since both are positive integers, we must have this. And since a, b, c, d are integers, sum of two non-negative integers is 1 if one of the integer is 0, other is 1. Okay, so we have two possibilities. This implies we have two possibilities, and that is I can write as this implies either this a square or rather Let me write this way. Okay, so we have two things. I want only one part. Both the things are true, so I can write this way. As a square plus b square is equal to 1, let me write here. As a square plus b square is equal to 1 and a and b are integers, implies we have either a equal to 0 and b is equal to plus or minus 1. Even if it is minus 1, then 0 plus minus 1 square is equal to plus 1. Or we can have another possibility, that is b equal to 0 and a is equal to plus or minus 1. So we have total 4 cases. A is 0 and b equal to 1, a is equal to 0, b equal to minus 1, b equal to 0, a equal to 1, b equal to 0 and a equal to minus 1. What are all these a and b? They are actually the real and imaginary parts of the number we have taken, and we have assumed that it is a unit. So if this thing is a unit, this number is a unit, then what we are getting is these conditions. So this suggests, therefore, z is equal to a plus ib, okay, implies the possible values of z when a is 0 and b is 1, a is 0 and b is 1, what I will get is 0 plus 1i. If a is 0 and b is minus 1, I will get 0 minus I. If b is 0 and a is 1, so 1 plus 0i. And if the last case, a is minus 1 and b is 0, so minus 1 plus 0i. So that is, we have only these 4 possibilities. Z is equal to 1, minus 1, I and minus I. Remember, this is very, very important thing, that the Gaussian ring has only these 4 units. What I have proved is, if any number is a unit, then that number is only one of these 4 elements, either 1 or minus 1, I or minus I. So the ring Zi has only the above 4 units. The above 4 units. That means in the ring we have only these 4 elements which are having multiplicative inverse. So no other element has inverse in the ring Zi. Okay. So this is an important example. Now next, let me take another example. Say let R is equal to say 2z, and 2z means I am taking set of all say even integers, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 4, plus or minus 6 and so on. Then it is easy exercise for you to show that the ring 2z comma plus comma dot is a commutative ring, rather infinite. That is also important thing to note, is an infinite, let me write, is an infinite commutative ring without unity. So that is something interesting. Without unity element, it has no unity, because here this identity element for multiplication is 1, and 1 is not in this set. Remember, this plus and dot are usual addition and usual multiplication of integers. So it is addition and multiplication of integers. So I can say that the ring, the set 2z is a ring with respect to usual addition and multiplication of integers, and it is a ring without unity. Further, I can give you a remark. Not only this, we can say that remember that the set nz plus n dot is an infinite commutative ring. Okay, and this nz has unity element if and only if n is 1. No other case is there. N is equal to 1. N is any, say I'm taking n as a natural number. You can take anything, and n can be integer also. So I'm taking here n as n belongs to n. Okay. So remember, we have now again so many examples of ring 3z, 4z, 5z, but only the ring for n equal to 1, that is z itself, has the unity element. Okay. The next example I want to mention is another interesting example. We know that the set of all 2 cross 2 matrices or set of all n cross n square matrices is a ring with respect to addition and multiplication of matrices. And the ring of matrices is always infinite. But now I am going to show you an example of a ring of matrices which is not infinite. It is a finite ring. So an interesting problem. Let us take R is equal to the set of all matrices A, B, C, D, okay, such that this A, B, C, D belongs to the set Z2. Okay, it belongs to set Z2. What is Z2? You know, Z2 is the set of all residue classes modulo 2. Generally, people means we take Z2 like this, but for simplicity, I will write only 0 and 1 in place of this class 0 and class 1. Okay, and this set R is a ring with respect to addition and multiplication modulo 2 of matrices. So I can say R plus 2 dot 2. Rather, I should not write this way. R is a ring and that is an interesting example. R is a ring with respect to addition and multiplication of matrices, mod 2. Okay, that means I will explain in a minute, but before that see that how many elements are there. Here we have 4 places A, B, C and D. Okay, these 4 places are to be filled with the elements A, B, C, D belongs to Z2, and Z2 has only 2 elements. So every box, every place A or B or C or D has 2 possibilities. So therefore there are 2 into 2 into 2 4 times, that is 2 raised to 4 means 16 possible matrices. So there are only 16 elements in the ring R of matrices, in the ring R of matrices. This kind of matrices. So if you take for example the 2 elements, I will show you how to add them. So if you take A is equal to one such element 1 1 0 1, okay, and let me take B is equal to 0 1 1 1, okay, belongs to the given set R. Then if you want to add this, then the meaning here is 1 plus 0 is 1. Let me write this way. This is 0 plus 1. This is 1 plus 1. This is again 1 plus 1. Okay, but we write this plus as plus modulo 2, addition modulo 2. So 1 plus 0 is 1, 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, but 2 is equal to 0 modulo 2. Again, this 2 is also equal to 0 mod 2. So when you add two matrices, the numbers after adding, you have to mod out by 2. And that is the meaning of that we are taking the operations as addition and multiplication modulo 2. Okay, addition and multiplication modulo 2. So this is again an element of the set R. You can verify that this set R is closed with respect to addition and as well as multiplication. The same way you can multiply, whatever the result you get, you must take modulo 2. And in this ring, remember that the element unity 1001 exists. This can be one of the element of the ring R. So this is working as unity of the ring R. And remember, it is nothing but our identity matrix I2. So this R is a ring with unity. And we know the ring of matrices is always say non-commutative. Okay, so R is this example, R plus dot is a finite non-commutative ring. So very, very important thing, finite non-commutative ring having 16 elements, okay, and it is with unity, finite non-commutative ring with unity having 16 element. So if you are asked, I give an example of a finite non-commutative. So far all finite rings we have say understood in our previous lectures, they were all say commutative rings. This is the first example of a finite ring which is non-commutative. So that is the important thing about this problem. Okay, and there is nothing special about this Z2 mod 2. You can take something else also, and accordingly we'll get another finite ring of matrices. Okay, next I want to consider the fourth problem as this one. Let R is equal to Z. Again, the set of all even integers. Okay, and define two binary operations plus and dot as, first thing we say a plus b is nothing but our simple addition of integers. A plus b, usual addition of integers. Okay, and I want to define the multiplication in a different way. So a dot b, I am defining, let me write this as a new notation. This dot circle means a into b by 2. Okay, and this we are defining for all a and b belong to R, which is 2Z. Then you can prove that the set 2Z is also a ring. 2Z comma plus comma dot circle is also a ring without unity. Sorry, a ring, and it is commutative ring. Commutative ring. The interesting thing is to know what will be the unity element for this multiplication operation. It has unity, in fact. Here we we know for multiplication operation unity is 1, but that is for ordinary multiplication. Here the multiplication is not ordinary. This is defined in a special manner. A into B means AB by 2. Okay. First of all, let me explain how the elements are added and multiplied. Suppose if I take A is equal to 4 and B is equal to say 6 belongs to R, that is 2Z, then A dot B, that is 4 dot circle 6, is given by 4 into 6 by 2. So it is 12. Okay, and that is also belong to R. So this way this A into B is defined. Now for this multiplication, I would like to check, okay, what can be taken as A dot something so that I will get the result as A. That is, we must have A into something. Let us call that something to be B. So A into B. So I can write A dot B upon 2. A dot B upon 2 is equal to say A. Understand? This suggests, remember, A and B are elements, must be elements of the given set R, that is 2Z. I can take something so that this turns out to be A. If I put B is equal to 2, that 2 will get cancelled. So taking B is equal to 2, from this we get the idea which belongs to 2Z, that is R. We have A dot 2 is equal to A for every A belongs to R. So remember, this 2 is a unity element. Therefore, in this ring, the unity element is nothing but the integer 2. So 1 is equal to 2. Okay, 1 is equal to 2. So that is an interesting thing. Okay. So this is another example. You just verify all the conditions in detail and also check what are the units of this ring. Let me go to the next problem. The number 5. Okay, we define two more rings which are useful. First one is this: let R is equal to the set of matrices of this form, say Z, then W, Z, W, then here I am writing minus W bar, and here it is say Z bar. Okay, where Z and W are nothing but complex numbers. They belong to C. So consider this set, the set of all 2 cross 2 matrices with this kind of elements. Just keep in mind, here Z is nothing but a complex number A plus IB, and W is also a complex number C plus ID, belongs to C. So I can also write this example as R is equal to all the matrices, just a minute, R is equal to all the matrices of the form Z is A plus IB, W is C plus ID, minus W bar. So first you have to take the conjugate of W. W bar means conjugate here, it is understood. So what is the conjugate of W bar? That is C minus ID. And the negative of that conjugate. So minus of this C minus ID is nothing but minus C plus ID. Then Z bar is the conjugate of A plus IB, where all A, B, C and D are nothing but real numbers. So all those matrices whose elements are complex numbers of this form is defined like this. Okay. Then this set is also a ring with respect to addition and multiplication of matrices. Remember, this is set of all 2 cross 2 matrices with some restrictions. Then prove that R plus dot is a ring with respect to addition and multiplication of matrices. Addition and multiplication of matrices. Okay, so that you can check. Okay, what I am interested in just listing some important facts that 0 element exists. It is nothing but 0 0 0 0. This 0 matrix is the 0 element here. That is first observation. Second observation is the unity element also exists. If I take A equal to 1 and B equal to 0, or let me write directly, the identity matrix 1 0 0 1 is also an element of this ring because it can be expressed as 1 plus say I into 0. Then this is 0 plus 0i. This is also say 0 plus 0i, and this I can write as 1 minus I into 0. So this is the unity element. In short, this thing is unity of the ring R. Okay. Again, since it is a ring of matrices, it is obviously non-commutative ring. So note that R is not commutative. It is obvious. R is not commutative ring. But the most important thing here is to note that every non-zero element in this ring has its multiplicative inverse. Every non-zero element in this ring has its multiplicative inverse. That means every non-zero element in this ring is a unit element. So let me mention that important fact. If say A is equal to ZW minus W bar and say Z bar belongs to the given ring, belongs to R, and also let me take this belongs to R, and Z is and A is not equal to 0 and capital A is not equal to 0. Okay, is a non-zero element. Non-zero element means all this A, B, C, D cannot be 0 simultaneously. Okay, that is A, B, C, D are not 0 simultaneously. Okay, so this means A square plus B square plus C square plus D square is not equal to 0. This statement you can describe by this. And now if you actually find the determinant, okay, determinant of this matrix, you know, mod of A, that turns out to be say Z into Z bar, okay, in minus minus plus, I'll admit this way, Z into Z bar and minus minus plus W into W bar. So Z into Z bar plus W into W bar, which is nothing but mod Z square plus mod W square. So we can also write this as A square plus B square plus C square plus D square, where I assume that Z is equal to A plus IB and W is equal to C plus ID in the beginning of this example. See, I can take Z is equal to this and W is equal to C plus ID. just for our convenience. So if A is a non-zero element, that means A, B, C are not zero simultaneously, then this cannot be zero. So therefore, if A is a non-zero element, then the mod of A is also not zero. The determinant is not zero, and therefore A is non-singular matrix. A is non-singular matrix. That means its inverse exists. That is, A inverse exists. And what is A inverse? That is interesting. A inverse is defined as, by for 2 cross 2 matrix, 1 upon determinant of A into adjoint of A. So that is nothing but 1 upon that A square plus B square plus C square plus D square. And then here, what you do is you have to write adjoint of this. Just that is take interchange the elements, the principal diagonal. This is principal diagonal. Okay, and interchange these two elements and change the sign of the elements in the secondary diagonal. So this becomes minus W, this becomes plus W bar, and these two will be interchanged. So we'll get this as Z bar and Z, and this is minus W, and this becomes W bar. So this is the inverse element of this. So what is the final statement? Therefore this R plus dot is an infinite, it is obviously infinite, non-commutative ring with unity and every non-zero element in this R has multiplicative inverse. So this is a very important observation. That means every non-zero element in this ring is a unit element. Okay, and after this we'll take the last example, say problem number 6, to conclude this examples of rings. Let us define a set, say capital R, as set of all numbers of the form A plus Bi plus Cj plus Dk, okay, where A, B, C, D are real numbers, okay, and I, J, K are satisfying this condition that I into J is equal to J into K is equal to K into I is equal to 1, and J into I is equal to K into J is equal to I into K is equal to minus 1. And one more thing, I square is equal to J square is equal to K square is equal to minus 1. So this is my definition of the set R. So I, J, K are those special numbers, like here I is the imaginary number in the complex plane. The same way we are taking 3 imaginary numbers, I, J, K, all are satisfying the same type of conditions, and this is totally strange and a new kind of set. Elements of this set are of this form, numbers of this form. Okay, so for 2 elements, say if I take Z is equal to A plus Bi plus Cj plus Dk, and W is equal to say P plus Qi plus Rj plus Sk, this belongs to R. We define Z plus W and Z into W as simple addition and multiplication. Okay, using this fact. Or addition is very obvious, just adding the two corresponding components, b plus q times I, c plus r times j, and d plus s times k. Okay, like this. This is also can be defined a plus bi plus cj plus dk dot p plus qi plus rj plus sk. Okay, and you can prove that this is of the form, say, I should use some other symbol, a1 plus b1i plus c1j plus d1k. So this is, if you expand and use these rules, you can show that this is also of the form element of R. So with respect to these operations, this set is a ring. So prove that R plus dot is a ring. R plus dot is a ring. Not only that, it is a ring. R is commutative. R is not commutative. R is not commutative ring. Why? It is already given in the statement of the problem. You know, I into j is 1 and j into I is minus 1, and I and j are elements of this. If I take a equal to 0, b is equal to 1, I mean all are 0 except b equal to 1, and a, c, d are 0, I will get one element I, and similarly we will get one element j. So a, I and j are the elements of this ring. So let me write, because I and j belongs to R and ij is not equal to ji, because this is 1 and this is minus 1. So it is non-commutative ring. Second point, R has unity. R has unity element. Okay, and that unity element is 1 is equal to 1 plus 0 into I plus 0 into j plus 0 into k. So this is second fact about this ring which can verify this works as a unity element. The third thing is if we take a non-zero element, if we take z is equal to a plus bi plus cj plus dk not equal to 0 in R, okay, that means all ABCD are not 0 simultaneously. I can write that a square plus b square plus c square plus d square is not equal to 0. Then taking the element defined as w is equal to if I take w is equal to, say, a, let me call this this value as something, say delta, then this w we define as say a minus, or let me write 1 upon delta into a minus b into I minus c into j minus d into k. Okay, then if I define w like this, then we have two things, that z into w is equal to 1 and is equal to w into z. This can be verified. Okay, so what is the meaning of this? That means w is the multiplicative inverse of the element z. Okay, so that is w is nothing but z inverse. So thus every non-zero element every non-zero element in the ring R has multiplicative inverse. Has multiplicative inverse. Okay, and this ring is known as the quaternion ring. Let me write the name. This R is called quaternion ring. Okay, so this is our last example in the collection of rings examples which are useful throughout our the course of abstract algebra or ring theory. Okay, so just remember these problems, and wherever it is needed, we can recall and use these problems to give some counter example or some answer. Like here, the last two examples are very important. What I have discussed today, one is the ring of quaternion, one is this, and the other is this set, ZW, W bar, Z bar. Both these sets are the rings which are non-commutative rings, okay, with unity element, and in both the rings we have every non-zero element has multiplicative inverse. So that is an important observation. The example 5 and 6 are the examples of infinite non-commutative ring with unity in which every non-zero element has multiplicative inverse. Okay, so just go through all the problems again. In the next lecture, we'll define some more important concepts and see the properties of rings, and we'll check whether this new kind of rings are satisfying all these criteria or not. Thank you.